Another example of, here on this program, we talk about things like the importance of Social Security as an insurance program against not only old age poverty, but, everything from birth defects to disaster. I mean, just plain old flat out disaster. One of my best friends broke his neck. He's living on Social Security. So, in fact, a third of people who take Social Security, who get Social Security, are not retired. They are literally widows, orphans, and disabled people. We talk about the importance of having a social safety net in the United States. We talk about the importance of this being a we society, not a me society. We talk about the importance of supporting our soldiers, particularly as they come back from combat. Whereas you've got people like John McCain out there saying, no, he's not going to sign on to the new GI Bill of Rights. We can't have that. All of these, all right across the board, all the social programs, so making sure our water is clean, to our air is clean, to our infrastructure is intact, to our public transportation systems, to our cars get good gas mileage, to carcinogens are not in the atmosphere and the environment and in our food supply. All of these things, by and large, are considered by cons to be socialism, big government. And I would submit to you that they are intrinsic to the American worldview. This is how America was started. Well, if you're opposed to all those things, if your worldview is, well, the government has no business doing any of that kind of thing, what do you have left to campaign on? These guys are not going to campaign on that they're all in favor of ExxonMobil being more and more powerful, that monopolies should get bigger and bigger, that big transnational corporations should define our trade policies. To hell with what it means to the average American worker. So what are they going to do? They're going to run on things like racism. Glenn Beck yesterday.
We're talking to Honky Whitesville from the Obama campaign.
Yeah, you just said a white campaign advisor.
Yeah. I mean, this is obviously a contrived piece. This guy, this went on for 15 minutes. Obviously, I'm not going to play that whole thing.
Your pardon?
I just want to make sure you get the title. I'm the white campaign advisor. I'm white.
Yeah, we're supposed to be laughing hysterically,
Mr. Whitesville.
Well, it's important to. It's just important to to be truthful. I'm white. I'm a white man.
But that's okay.
I just want you. I want to make sure you.
But it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, right. And then he talks about, I'm the same color as toothpaste, blah, 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 blah. And then they start going after Michelle Obama. And holy cow, she went to good colleges. How could that be?
And as always, they're trying to raise the bar a little higher, like they did when she went to Princeton and then Harvard. And now possibly the First Lady.
Is it possible she was holding on to the bar as they were raising it?
No, I think she might have made a trip to the bar.
Oh, yeah, she's just an alcoholic. I mean, this is so pathetic. John in New Jersey. Hey, John, welcome to the program.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? The reason I'm calling is I saw that clip too, and yeah, there's often a stereotype about Democrats that most, if not all, are dirt poor. They're working for Walmart or pumping gas. The reason why I'm calling, I work for a big company. I make a lot of money. If Obama gets elected, my taxes are going to go up a little bit. I know that. I'm okay with that. The reason I'm very sincere about this, that kind of haughty, pompous, hate-filled stuff that Glenn Beck did, if that doesn't disgust people in this country, I don't know what will. That is stunningly hideous. And the reason why I'm saying that, there are a lot of people I know that are like me. We're not all poor. We're not all unemployed. We don't work for Walmart. We're doing very well, but that is morally offensive. And I just often think that Democrats are often characterized that we forget there are a lot of people that are doing okay actually economically, could do better, but that we find that offensive because that's morally offensive, and that's all I want to say.
Well, you said it very well, John. Thank you very much. And there's also this phenomena. You've got a lot of middle class voters and working class voters who are saying, no, please don't raise my taxes. And the reason why, and this is the point that is not made by the corporate media, and there's a very good reason why this is not made by the corporate media. The reason why is that 30, 40, 50 years ago, the percentage of people's income that was being paid, working people's income, middle class people's income that was being paid in taxes overall, from property taxes to income taxes at the state and federal level to FICA, was dramatically lower. Ronald Reagan doubled, for example, the taxes just on working people, at that time, people making less than $35,000 a year, and now about $100,000 a year. Ronald Reagan doubled that tax at the same time that he cut taxes on millionaires and billionaires. So what we have seen is this massive shift. John Kennedy dropped when FDR raised the top tax rate to 91%, there was no outcry among average working Americans because they got it, that you had to be making $3.6 million before it affected you. Kennedy dropped that down to 71%. It was still something that really only affected the very wealthy, and Kennedy positioned it as a tax increase because he was closing loopholes. But what's happened since Reagan came into office is there has been a series of tax cuts for millionaires, billionaires, and large corporations, to the point that as Berkshire Hathaway, one of the largest investment funds in the United States, as they pointed out in their annual report, and I quote, corporate taxes are at the lowest level since 1934. 7.4% of all federal tax receipts, down from 32% in 1952. So in 1952, the corporations in America were paying 32% of the tax load. Wealthy people in the United States were paying a good chunk of the tax load, and the average working person was paying a relatively smaller piece of the tax load. Now corporations are only paying 7% of the federal tax load. The very, very wealthy, if you make your living buying and selling stocks, if you make your living sitting around the pool on your butt waiting for the dividend check to arrive in the mail, you have a maximum federal income tax rate of 15%. A maximum rate. Whereas if you're out working for a living, if you're a school teacher, if your spouse is out there building roads, something like that, together you could be paying 30, 35%, 36% in income taxes, plus 100% of your tax is subject to that doubled FICA tax that Reagan dumped on us, whereas millionaires and billionaires are paying nothing on it after the first $100,000 in taxes, in income that they make. Zero. They're paying nothing into the Social Security Income Fund, into FICA and Medicare. Zero. So what's happened is the average working stiff is paying more and more and more in taxes because the rich folks and the corporations in this country have been dramatically paying less and less and less. And so, of course, people are going, hey, I'm paying enough taxes. And then there was that little trick that George W. Bush did in 2001, that neat little trick. You'll recall if you file your income taxes every year and if your taxes are deducted from your paycheck, before the year 2001, most people on April 15 actually got a tax refund, a small tax refund. Since 2001, most people, when they file their taxes, owe a little bit. The reason why? Because Bush changed the tax deduction tables so that people's paychecks got a little bigger. Everybody thought, hey, I got a tax cut. But he didn't actually cut the average person's taxes. Instead, he simply changed the deduction tables. So you got a little less taken out of your paycheck, but at the end of the year, you got hit with a bigger bill, so you'd even be angrier about paying taxes. The average working person in the United States is getting screwed. It has been and has been by the Republicans ever since 1981 when Reagan came into office, and they're angry and they're upset, and they don't realize that it's the big multinational corporation. You got corporations like Halliburton and KBR. KBR Kellogg Brown and Root reincorporated in the Cayman Islands. Halliburton now in the Middle East, where they pay no federal taxes at all on the hundreds of billions of dollars of our tax dollars that are being given to them, and the profits, the billions of profits the billions of dollars in profits that they're making. And who's paying the taxes? You and me and every average working person in this country. Period.